We're going to be conducting these quarterly during my administration, at least, at the request of citizens during our campaign forums last year. We will begin the meeting with the invocation delivered by Council President Beth Pence, and followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by our Police Chief, Ron Balmas.
Okay. Father God, we are here this evening asking leaders to serve the least among us and uphold justice and focus on the common good for our city. And we thank you to glorify you. Amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You have all received a copy of the minutes from our last meeting. Are there any corrections or additions?
Madam Chairman, I would commend our note takers for the notes from our workshop. Those were the most comprehensive discussions and the most comprehensive notes that I think I've ever seen for our council. And thank you. Appreciate those a lot, Karen.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Having read the movements, they look good.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very
Aye.
good. Thank you. You have the agenda before you. Are there any changes or additions?
Do we have a motion on the floor to vote to accept the minutes?
We'll make that motion in new business.
Okay.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All
Aye.
opposed?
Yep.
Carrie Sue.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Sorry, it's a little awkward right now, but we'll get used to it. We have these wonderful new blinds at the back. Would you mind turning them up so that the council could see the screen without the glare on them? Thank you. Thank you, that really helps.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, I'm sorry, and the agenda is adopted. We now move on to the public forum and general comments. Any person with business before the council not scheduled on the agenda as a public hearing may speak to the council for a maximum of 5 minutes. You identify yourself by name and no formal action can be taken, and you are not required to list or give your address.
Madam Chair.
If you could hold on Zoom for a moment, we have somebody in the room. If you would come to the microphone and identify yourself.
Good evening. I'm Debbie Dalhouse, and while you might suspect that as the spouse of a council member, I'm going to say something that my spouse might, if you know me, then you know that is not the case. So I have a question for all of the council members, new and previous. There's been a lot of discussion about, let's not do the sewer, let's think about it, let's do a needs assessment. I don't think we really need it. If we do, we'll have too much development. We don't want development. My question to you is, you have an opportunity for a $5 million grant to address a current need that has been documented. Are you prepared to accept the responsibility if you continue to delay and you lose this grant? At some point in the future, sooner probably rather than later, there will be a health crisis. As it is, people's children and grandchildren, the feeder creeks, there is documented pollution in those creeks. Are you prepared to accept the responsibility of borrowing $5+ million and paying it back at whatever the going interest rate is? May I have a response?
There is no requirement that the council respond during public comment. We accept your public comments. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Please identify yourself.
Greg Stahl, Sky Valley resident. First, I'd like to thank each of your commissioners for your time and your service to the entire city. You spend a lot of time doing this, and that's very important. I want to thank you for that. I'd like to ask you reconsider putting that study proposal onto the agenda today. We sort of got through that agenda pretty quickly. That decision, as you mentioned, directly affects about 200 potential users of the system, with the city having approximately 800 total property taxing units. That means more than 25% of the city is going to be affected by your decision directly with the installation of that service. It's been argued that the city is not responsible for assisting with sewer issues, for the building should have to deal with those issues. However, when it affects 200 of your citizens, potentially, I think it becomes a city issue. And ultimately, that's the role of government, to provide services for the city. Otherwise, why have our police department, our fire department, our water services? I also would like to point out that not accepting the grant means that for those 200 connecting units, you're costing them $25,000, 5 million divided by 200 units per person when we have to do this and the grants aren't available. So think about that. It's a $25,000 charge. Each of those residents is going to have to pay as a sewer hookup on top of whatever the cost is then, in addition to what it is now. At the last workshop, you heard from Maggie Smith of Georgia Regional Mountain Commission that not accepting the grants in effect moves us to the back of the line. And that the possibility of us getting that grants will probably never happen again. Also, that one of these grants is being discontinued by the state of Georgia. Many of you campaigned on the need for this study that's not on the agenda. We talked about it at the workshop. Before proceeding with the sewer to make the right decision, I think most of the commission has indicated the need for this study. Why wait? Let's get it done and find out the answer. It may be we don't need it, but we need the information. The main reason for not doing the sewer appears to be tied to limiting development. But I've asked questions and found out that we're only adding 50 new residential units with this sewer system. That's it, 50. That's not significant development. And we need development, because without some development, the city tax rolls will be only those of us here, and you'll have to make a decision to either raise taxes or increase or cut services of the city. I request that you go forward with the study and not become known as a commission that gave up $5 million of our taxpayer money, because we put in that money that goes to get these grants, along with all the other citizens, without the facts. Again, I want to thank you for your service. It's a lot of work.
Thank you. Come on up. Please identify yourself.
I sure will when I get to the mic. Thank you. Hi, Rudy Macy. I've been coming up to Sky Valley since probably most of my first time up here was in the 1978, 1979. I didn't buy a home up here till 2012 because my wife and I love to travel, and when you have a second house, you're really tied down, which has really tied us down. My mom died, we had a family reunion up here. We said, well, we need to keep the family together, so we bought a house up here. I've been on many committees in this time, and I want to say one thing. I love everybody. I'm friends with all of you. And over the years, I've seen people get up and talk and have a different viewpoint or a different opinion, and then it's like they're shunned or and it shouldn't be that way. We're all in this together, and thank God we live in the country we live in, that we can get up to speak. I think we should do a study. However, I have some concerns. I spent over $3,200 last summer, not including what I had to do inside my house, when my septic tank backed up. I never got any help from the city. I had to replace the whole system. I never went to the city and asked for help because I own it. I spent 2 years ago in August, had a water pipe go down from the house. They couldn't fix it. It was underneath the driveway. You came out and helped me. You remember that? And that cost me over $2,000 to trench and go underneath the driveway. Nobody paid for it. Rudy Macy and Dolly Macy paid for it. So I have heartburn. I know $5 million is a lot of money, but I have heartburn just taking this and fixing it, knowing that in the years to come, every one of us that aren't impacted by that sewage plant that they're looking at putting in, what they're looking at doing, aren't impacted by it. When it breaks down, when something goes wrong, I'm gonna have to pay for it. Nobody's helped me pay for any of my stuff. I just kind of got a little heartburn about that. I also submitted to the earlier council members before this council, something that had been given by a homeowner up here that didn't want his name involved, that moved down here from Nantucket. And they have individual sewage systems that aren't septic tanks, and I submitted it to the city, that are not septic tanks, that will do everything that needs to be done. And it costs about a third more than putting in a septic tank system is. And the individuals up there owned it. This individual owns his up in his house up there. He went and put it in. So I think we should do the study. I think we should see where it's coming from. But I'm not one to say, hey, it's $5 million, you can't get it. I just helped the guy write a grant for a city in Florida and to get their new water system put in. I'm more concerned about our water system. I would say at least every month, and the guys that work for the city can tell you, and on my street, it's a lot. The water pipes are always breaking. The water pipes are always breaking down. I turn my water on sometimes. I got rust or red running through my water. I believe that water impacts everybody in the city, and everybody should be concerned about the water in the pipes. I mean, when you're driving down the street, you see these patches, or you get the note from the city that this road's blocked off. See how many times it's not blocked off to repair the road, but so many times it's blocked off because they're fixing the water pipes. And that's all I gotta say. Thank you. Hope you're still my friends. Thank you.
Anybody else wish to make a comment?
I'm Jerry Smith, and I appreciate all the comments about the water. You know, we was going to talk about water tonight, but I want to talk about the item
I'm sorry, if we could just move the mic stand away from that, podium. There we go, thank you. Yes.
I want to talk about item 12. It's on the agenda, the appointment of planning and zoning commissioners under the amendment that was passed on March 13th. And I have been dealing with the city for ever since this first idea came up about advertising for the public meeting and going by the zoning procedures law. And been trying to work with the city attorney to get that hearing done. And that's all fell through until yesterday was the deadline to try to get it resolved. So today I have went ahead and filed a notice of appeal with the city, appealing that decision, and I'm just gonna make a few points. As of 3 p.m. today, I have formally filed a notice of administrative appeal regarding the interpretation issued on March 13th. Under Georgia law and our zoning procedures, this filing triggers an automatic stay of proceedings. This means the city must pause all actions related to the residency amendment, including seating any non-residents until this council holds a formal appeal hearing. The administrator's interpretation that a text amendment is an administrative act is a direct violation of Georgia zoning procedures law. State law is clear. Any change into the text of the zoning ordinance is a zoning decision that requires a 15 to 45 day public notice and a formal public hearing. You cannot bypass the public's right to comment by calling a substantive change clerical. I have submitted exhibits A through F with my appeal. These include internal emails between the mayor, the council member, and the city manager, showing that this amendment was predetermined specifically to seat Jim Phelps, a campaign contributor of the mayor. Exhibit E shows a council member promising an easy pass to put him in the saddle. This proves the interpretation was a bad faith effort to avoid public scrutiny of a political favor. Even one of your own members recognized this was wrong. Exhibit D confirms that a council member voted no specifically because this was politically motivated to benefit one individual. To proceed tonight in the face of these facts and a legal stay of proceedings would be a knowing violation of due process. I'm asking council to respect the stay of proceedings and pull any related appointments from tonight's agenda. Let's do this the right way, follow the ZPL, and schedule a legal hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else in the room who would like to share a public comment? I know there was somebody on Zoom who wanted to share something, so speak now or.
Hi, Madam Chair, it's Michelle Herschel. I want to speak to item 14 on the agenda. And I wasn't sure if I should bring this up during public comments or if I should wait for the actual line item to be addressed. So anyway, do you want me to just say what my comment is now?
Please do.
I would like someone to address the miscellaneous expenses on the marketing committee budget. And I would like specific answers to why we have $5,000 in miscellaneous expenses that are just, out there. And, I just got to say this committee is already overfunded, and to have an extra 5,000 miscellaneous is to me unacceptable without telling us what it's for. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to make a public comment? There being no further comment, I will close this public forum and we will now move on to Jason Streetman with oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. It is council remarks and mayoral remarks, and as mayor, I go first. And I want to take a moment tonight to recognize that March is National Women's History Month. And it's a time to honor the women across our nation and here in Sky Valley. In a small city like ours, progress doesn't just happen. It's built day by day without accolades by people who care so deeply about this community. And more often than not, those people are women. In fact, I don't know how many of you know this, but we are a majority female community. And that shows in the best ways. So I'd like to begin by recognizing former Mayor Holly Style for her years of leadership and service. And we remain grateful for her commitment to the city, and we continue to keep her in our prayers. And to the women on our city staff, Karen, Summer, who's not here tonight, and Sharon, thank you. You are the backbone of our daily operations, and you are the face of City Hall. You keep things running smoothly, and you serve our residents with professionalism and care, and I know this because I hear it. I'd like to thank our female officer, Dottie Clark. She's out there, she's our hero, and she's so helpful, and she makes us all proud. To the women on our city council, thank you for your servant leadership, your perspective, and your willingness to do the hard work of governance. And to our city's volunteers, the women who step up, who pitch in, and who make things happen. You are truly the heart of this community, and you all know who I'm talking about. And what makes Sky Valley so special isn't just its beauty, it's our people. And the women of this community are a vital part of that story. So tonight, on behalf of the city of Sky Valley, thank you all for your leadership, your service, and your commitment to making this place a better place for all of us. You don't just support this community, you drive it forward. So to all of you, that every day is Women's History Day because we make history every day. So thank you. And I will move on to alphabetically. We'll go with Councilman Tony Allred.
Well, can't top that. I agree. I don't have anything else. Thank you.
Thank you. Carrie Sue Beasley.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, and I'm so glad to see everybody in the room, that this first evening meeting is so well attended.
You. What comes next? Jim Curtis.
Okay. It's great to look out and see everybody here. A lot of times our council meetings are, oh, well, we got a lot more seats than people. So thank you for your interest. I understand we've got some really important visitors today, and that's because we've got some very important people here who are going to be honored. So thank you.
Thank you. Council President Beth Pence.
I do not have anything to share except welcome, and I'm glad you all are here.
We all are. Thank you. And last but not least, Councilman Jesse Price.
Nothing to share. Echo the comments by the rest of the council. Not there.
Thank you. Now, moving on to the city manager and his report, Jason Streetman.
Madam Mayor, Council, everyone in attendance, everyone Zoom, good evening, almost good morning. I do realize that we have a heavy agenda, so I will be recognized, be brief, and be seated. With that, I want to remind and inform that we are having a planning retreat the 23rd at the Sky Valley Scaly Mountain Volunteer Fire Department building, 10 a.m. next Monday, the 23rd. No action will be taken during this retreat. I recently attended the Georgia City County Manager Association Conference in Athens last week. A very enlightening 3 days of relevant sessions and roundtable discussions. Every year they do a theme. This year's theme was wellness, and just the difficulties of the job that we all hold and the service that we provide. A lot of people were interested about Sky Valley. Some did not know, but everybody does now. I definitely did my part to try to promote the city and that we are the highest and coolest city. Segway, property taxes. If you paid those, thank you. They are, if you have not, they are now past due. Interest and penalties are accruing. We have received approximately 94%, so we are on track. Thank you again. And as far as expenditures for the city general fund, we're at week 12 of 52. We should be around 23% on expenditures. We're at 21% on general fund, 20 on water, and 24 on trash. On the revenue side, we've taken in around 73% of what we've anticipated for the year. So things are looking good there. And as I always like to end every meeting, if you do have a short, or every manager report, I'm sorry, if you do have a short-term rental, please renew your license if you have not done so. Or get one if you are doing it. Same with your golf carts. If you do, or your side-by-sides, if you wish to drive in the city, please contact the police department. I'm not taking your thunder there, chief, but either way, end the report, and I will stop there. And
Thank you.
That's right.
And we have some departmental reports.
Madam Mayor, this time you can recognize Cody English, our water coordinator. He's got some brief comments.
Mr. English, good to see you.
Good evening. I'm also going to be pretty brief. The first thing I've got is that we have received a shipment of 3 pressure reducing valve rebuild kits. We will be putting those in within the next couple of weeks. Those will be installed on Saddleback Circle, Alex Mountain, and Wildbird Lane. This project has been going on for a couple of years now. We're doing this to regulate our pressure and routine maintenance. The next thing I got here is I know it's still cold right now, so if you leave town for more than 24 hours, please turn your water off at the street. This could save you a lot of money, and also it helps us with water conservation if you were to happen to have a leak. Beginning probably 2 weeks from now, hopefully it'll be a little warmer, we're going to be doing some well house maintenance. We will be doing painting all of our well houses this year. Some routine maintenance inside, painting pipes, any kind of corrosive fittings that need to be changed out. We'll be doing that. We will also be replacing some fire hydrants. The first one we will be replacing is out by the compactor, just out past it. It's got a little bit of a faulty stem control there. Of course, always we continue to monitor all of our water. That includes routine monthly samples for bacteria. I'm proud to say that we haven't had a faulty sample come back in my time here. I've been over it for 5 years now, and we've never had a bad sample come back. Be able to look out probably about mid-May, late May. We're going to be sending out the consumer confidence reports for the water system. So just be on the lookout for that. We do have one new water meter to install, and that will be on at the big rock there on Ridgepole for the new build on Covered Bridge. That's all I've got.
Any questions?
Cody, will you be at the Public Works
Yes, sir, I will.
meeting
On Thursday?
Thursday? Yes,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, if I can add, it's Cody's being seated. We recently applied for 2 grants through the AARP, American Association of Congresspersons. One of those grants is to help aid fund the dog park. The other grant would be to do some landscaping and aesthetic improvements around the pickleball courts. And Cody English took the lead on those grants. So we do get those grants. We'll be out of order, Cody. So I just want to share that. Next, Madam Mayor, you'll recognize Jerry Show, our Public Works Manager. He'll have a few brief comments.
Welcome, Mr. Show.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank y'all for coming out and good to see everybody. Public Works is, as I mentioned before, we had acquired some land through the city and we started getting the dirt and the rock and we've started doing the shoulder building up on Bayberry. You're welcome to go up and check it out. The weather's kind of shifted us back a little bit. But we've been working on it as we can. We're about a month out from starting the grass cutting and we're looking at doing the preventive maintenance on it and getting everything ready and set to go to get it taken care of. And our everyday work orders, what we get from the office, the clippers from the city in the office there. Culvert cleaning on the heads of the culverts, getting them cleaned out for better drainage and finish up on some leaf removal for the leaf season.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Shaw.
I'm going to recognize Jim Powell, our code enforcement building inspector. He has some brief comments.
Like Councilmember Beasley said, happy St. Patrick's Day. In February, there was only one citation issued, and that was for roof work that was started at 92 Alpine without a permit. In addition to the $75 permit, it's doubled, so they paid another $75. The contractor paid that. In March, I've issued 2 warnings with notices to comply. And this was also for starting work without permits, but in these cases, 896 Alpine had a roof leak and 90 Downing Street had a pipe burst. The ordinance does allow for you to protect and secure your property, but in both of these instances, there was work ongoing for several weeks before they came to get the permit. No certificates of occupancy were issued in the month of March, in January and or February. Construction continues on the new home at 1160 Knob Drive. Insulation was applied last week. 2308 Ridgepole, Mountain Modern, at the upper end of Ridgepole. The foundation and the walls, the concrete was poured recently. And Cody just mentioned Covered Bridge 20, they do have an address now, 22 Covered Bridge Road. They began the framing and they should be putting up the roof trusses probably tomorrow. In February of 26 this year, 12 building permits have been issued and 2 tree permits. In February of last year, 8 permits, building permits, and 3 tree permits. So we're ahead of last year. And lastly, bird feeders, you've got about 3.5 more weeks to have your bird feeders out. And then effective April 15th until November 15th, you're not allowed to have your bird feeders out because nature takes care of itself. And again, this is to prevent wildlife coming up and getting into your trash and on your decks and everything else. Going after the bird feed is an issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
Everybody see Thomas? Ron Thomas?
Good evening, everybody. I'm gonna use my report time here a little differently this time. And I can't promise you it's gonna be brief because it's important stuff that we're recognizing here. First, I would like to have Officer Williams step up real quick. As many of you already know about the house fire and everything he did for the homeowners there that night in January. We had him this plaque made up and I'll just read it. It's a life-saving award presented to Officer Andrew Williams in recognition of your courageous and life-saving actions at the scene of the residential fire on January 22nd in Sky Valley. You put yourself in harm's way to save 2 other people with dedication, courage, and without sacrifice. This is from the Sky Valley Police Department. And secondly, I'm just gonna read from my notes here so I don't mess it up. We're proud to recognize and celebrate Sky Valley Police Officer David Edwards on the occasion of his retirement after 27 years of dedicated service to the Army National Guard. Throughout nearly 3 decades, Lieutenant Edwards exemplified the very highest ideals, duty, and honor, and selflessness to service, standing ready to serve his state and nation whenever he's called. In recognition of his remarkable milestone, General Thomas Pardon has sent a personal note of congratulations to Lieutenant Edwards. General Pardon, who has recently been promoted to the Vice Chief of the National Guard. General Pardon holds the second highest position in the National Guard. He answers to the Chief of the National Guard only. Who is a member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. He's the first ever to hold the rank of a 4-star general in this role and previously served as the commander of the Georgia National Guard. His own journey began just at 18 years old, enlisted as a private, making his acknowledgement especially meaningful. Lieutenant Edwards' commitment, both in uniform and in service to our community, reflects a lifetime of service and sacrifice. We thank him for his extraordinary service and congratulate him on a well-earned retirement from the National Guard, not from the police department. And I'll just read the letter that the general, 4-star general sent and acknowledging this. Dear Lieutenant Edwards, congratulations on your retirement from the National Guard. Your 27 years of distinguished service is a commendable achievement. On behalf of the grateful nation, I thank you for your long dedicated service. Your commitment to public service is further demonstrated by your continued work with the Sky Valley Police Department. The city of Sky Valley are fortunate to have you for an officer with your experience and integrity. Thank you again for your honorable service to our country and to your community. I wish you and your family the very best in the future. Very respectfully, Thomas M. Pardon, Jr., U.S. Army Vice Chief, National Guard. And as everybody probably noticed, we have some guests here tonight. And I just wanted to say the Sky Valley Police Department is very grateful for the assistance the Sheriff's Office provided, bringing a very dangerous individual back to Georgia to face charges that we brought against him. But they're here for another reason. Sheriffs came out to swear us all in under the umbrella of the Sheriff's Department as well. So if we can go ahead and got a few things you want to say in regards to.
Yeah, I'm not here to swear at. Let me get you guys stand with me if you would, please. This is my Chief Deputy Mike Pearson, and this is Major Sam Jones. He's our patrol commander. And let me say this before we start, just real quick. I'm going to talk. Before we even establish any kind of government, before any of it can be put in place, the first thing you have to have is security. You remember not too long ago, we went to Iraq. What was the first thing we done? We put a police station in. You develop security, then you develop a government. George Orwell said this. He said that good people sleep peaceably in their beds at night, only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. Now, I say this on the standpoint of military and law enforcement. And I say, I thank God for those that I believe it is a calling. And I believe that they are born with a streak of give a rip, if I can say that runs through them. And they truly believe with all their heart that they are their brother's keeper. As a law enforcement officer, who've given my life to it, and I've seen these brave men and women that have done the same. Sky Valley, you're truly blessed. And I'm not just trying to make you feel good, but you're in good hands. You've got a good police department here. So it's my honor to do this. So this time, I guess I get.
You wanna line them up or something?
Yes, let's just line them up. Let's all get up for a single file. Feet together. Chest out.
Just retired from single file.
All right, I've got two of them. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Just to save some time, whenever we're done with the swearing in, if you guys will just kind of meet me outside, we'll fill out the paperwork. All right, go ahead.
I've been looking for the cake ever since the drive. Okay. You would hold your right hand, and I want to read this. I state your name. Do swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute all writs, warrants, precepts, and processes directed to the sheriff of this county, or which are directed to all sheriffs of this state, and to any other sheriff, especially which I can lawfully execute through returns, make, and in all things well and truly without malice or partiality, perform the duties of the office of Deputy Sheriff of Raven County during my continuance therein, and take only my lawful fees. I do further solemnly swear or affirm that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public monies due to this state, and that I am not the holder of any office or trust under the government of the United States or any other state or any foreign state, which I am prohibited from holding by the laws of the state of Georgia, and that I am otherwise qualified to hold said office according to the Constitution of the United States and the laws of Georgia, and that I will support the constitutions of the United States of America and of this state. I do further swear or affirm that I will abide by the law enforcement code of ethics adopted by this agency, so help me God. Say I do.
I do.
Roger that. One more. I state your name. Swear or affirm that I am not incumbent upon any office or trust of this state or the United States or any other foreign state, that I should seek such. My separation herefrom shall be an abstainer. I further swear or affirm that I am not the holder of any public monies due to this or any other state or political subdivision unaccounted for. I do swear or affirm that I am qualified to hold the office to which I am appointed, and for so long as I am affiliated with the Raven County Sheriff's Office, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Georgia. And I will faithfully perform and discharge the duties of my position conscientiously and without malice or partiality to the best of my ability. I further swear or affirm to obey and adhere to and uphold and to enforce the laws of the United States of America and of the state of Georgia at all times. I do further swear or affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the governor of the state of Georgia, Sheriff Mark A. Gerald of the Raven County Sheriff's Office, and officers appointed over me according to the law, so help me God. Say I do.
I do.
There you go.
Thanks, sir.
Sheriff Charles.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Yes, the council would like to know, does this mean that the sheriff takes on part of the police budget?
Well, you know what? We take on everything else. I don't see why not.
Thank you so
Yes, ma'am.
much. All right. Jason, is that, are those all the department reports?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is committee reports. I'm assuming that we have a report from the marketing committee. According to you, it's committee report time, yes. We will do that, I'm guessing, when the budget comes up. Thank you. Finance.
All right. Well, the Finance and Admin Council, or Committee, excuse me, they met on February 10th, and we discussed our roles and our vision for the rest of the year. And that good group of residents discussed a number of things about the budget, and we asked questions and took notes and had a wonderful meeting. And I appreciate each and every one of them. I do have something to share regarding the actual financials of the city of Sky Valley, that the tax receivable software and the accounting software currently aren't integrated. That's the only part of our budget that doesn't have an integration tool with it. We are waiting on a module upgrade, but in the meantime, Jason and Karen here at the city are working to make adjusting entries into our budget to show the tax receivables. So as you know, all of our taxes have been collected in the last few months. So they will be putting those adjusting entries in so that we do see those until that module is ready for us from our accounting software. So that further integration is coming. Our next finance and admin meeting is on May 20th. And our first advisory council meeting, our committee meeting, excuse me, is going to be on March 26th at 1 p.m. So the agenda will be going out soon, and this is the advisory committee that replaced the mayoral advisory committee, and that's all I have.
Thank you. I believe that is all the business under committee reports. Moving on now to new business on the agenda. We have some committee proposals, and I am going to take the lead on that, if that is all right with you all. On the mayoral committees, number 10, I mistakenly put Ken McCollin's name when I meant to have Matt Davidson's name. They are in the same household, and I look forward to them, to Matt Davison serving. So I would ask for a motion to approve that replacement substitution from the council. Do I have a second? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. And the motion passes unanimously. Number 11 is consider approval of the Community Connections Advisory Committee and the proposed resolution and proposed member appointments. And for those of you who would like to know, first of all, let me explain that the committees were approved at the first meeting, but the council asked that we name the members of those committees so that the public would know, and this is why we have been introducing them through the past few meetings. So the proposed member appointees for the Community Connections Advisory Committee are Barbara Kobacker, Charles Anthony, Leslie Fletcher, Tim McClelland, Jim Rhodes, and Councillor Beth Pence. And the chair of that committee would be Leslie Fletcher. The ex officio members would be Mayor Cotton Orr, City Manager Streetman, and Communication Specialist Sharon Van Kemp. I would ask for your approval of the resolution and the accompanying list of members for that committee.
I move that we accept the appointees and the Community Connections Advisory Committee, Barbara Kobacker, Charles Anthony, Leslie Fletcher as chair, Tim McClellan, Jim Rhodes, and myself, Councilor Doug Pence.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? There being no discussion, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Thank you. That is a unanimous approval. Thank you. The next is number 12, the approval of the proposed planning and zoning member appointments. The members would be the chair, Tony Allred, and he has served on that committee for the past 4 years, if I understand correctly. The second council member would be Jesse Price. The members would be Ramona Gailey and Jim Phelps. And existing is Don Germano, who will continue his service on the board, I hope. He has not resigned, and I have not asked him to resign, so I guess he's still there. The ex officio members would be Building and Inspector Pyburn, City Manager Streetman, and Mayor Cotton Orr. And I would ask your approval of those members. And as you know, the resolution was amended. The ordinance was amended at the last meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the proposed member appointees for the Planning and Zoning Commission?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor. And this is in a line of discussion. I think I'm a little embarrassed, Tony, that I didn't realize you had already been serving on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and that we have had city council members on the Planning and Zoning Commission. And the reason I bring this up is that Jerry's earlier comments sort of resonated with me to the extent that we're the Board of Appeals as well, and therefore maybe those of us who are adjudicating any appeals to something that planning and zoning does shouldn't be sitting on the planning and zoning. I don't know anything about the laws of Georgia. Is Doug here?
Doug is not here,
Okay.
Councilman, but he has given us his legal opinion already.
Okay, which is?
Which is that what we are doing is legal according to our city attorney, and we will continue in this fashion.
It's another committee, you know, and council members serve on all the committees at some point in order to sort of guide and direct the committee and determine what actions it might consider. Those committees are simply advisory committees, and what they do is make a recommendation to the council. And in the past, in any time there has been an issue that was the least bit, not completely unanimous, we would restrain ourselves from voting for that and let the other council members decide on it. So, I don't think there's ever been an issue that has not been pretty cut and dry, plain and simple.
Right.
But in that event, I think it would be appropriate for me and Jesse to just sort of back off and let you guys make the decision.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? There being no discussion, do I have a motion to approve the members of the Planning and Zoning Commission?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, I'd already done that. I apologize. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Opposed? Nay.
Yes. Thank you, Carrie Sue, and the motion passes. Number 13 is to consider sunsetting of the Special Projects Advisory Committee, the Landscaping Advisory Committee, and the Mayoral Advisory Committee. These committees are being replaced by the mayoral committees that I have proposed and had approved by the City Council. And I would ask that you approve the sunsetting of these committees. May I have a motion to sunset the committees listed under item 13?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion?
I know at least the landscaping committee has pretty much completed the objectives, and those concerns are being taken care of
Yes.
pretty well, and I assume that the city will continue to, have use a contract. Mark Wanamaker's been doing a great job keeping the entrance looking great. The garden club steps in for various other functions, and I think we're good on that point.
Yeah, that is correct. And I would thank Debbie Delhouse for informing me of that we no longer require the services of a landscaping advisory committee. And moving forward, we will be calling on the garden club for counsel as needed. So thank you all so much, and please pass my thanks on to onto the Landscaping Advisory Committee members. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No. The motion passes unanimously. If I could just go back for a minute, I want to item number 12. I should have commented on the passing of David Spears. I know he served diligently on the committee, and many of you are in town to memorialize him, and we appreciate everything he has done through the years for this community, and we're very grateful for that. And we are also very grateful for Dan McAfee for serving on the Landscaping and Zoning Committee for so many years. And we appreciate all of the new committee members who have come on this year during this administration, and look forward to working with all of them. Moving on to number 14. To consider approval of the FY 2026 Sky Valley Marketing Committee budget. Do I have a motion to approve the budget?
I move that we approve the budget as submitted.
Do I have a second for the budget? Do we have any discussion?
Yes.
I would like to comment.
No.
Yes, great. May I comment on it?
Yes, please come on up to the microphone and identify yourself for everybody.
Thank you. Again, I'm Gordon Brown. I'm with the Sky Valley. I'm the chair of the marketing committee, and so involved with it. Possibly we go in, may I just point on this briefly about the budget? Can we put the budget up? behind your way. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
What I basically want to do is just go over, and what the budget is, and you'll see the line items or contributions, what does that mean? Well, we have essentially contributions of marketing committees breaking up of the POA, Popular Association, in this case, you're the city, and we get into the area of the additional area of the timeshare. And so they go in and they contribute, and that's the contributions, the 5,000. This year, we noticed that there's a limit of 5,000. In the club this year, is not participating. They got an issue of budget and so forth, then was a timing confusion, so it was not included in the budget. So we have $15,000 in terms of overall what the contributions are. Now, what that means that contributions is each member, in terms of the marketing committee, they have 2 representatives in terms of POA, the city, and of course, timeshare. And they're the ones that are really part of the marketing committee. They vote on everything. They're essentially they presented, and I have to say, incredibly talented group of people, business people, lawyers, and they're interested in Sky Valley. They love Sky Valley, and they want the best of Sky Valley. And they've seen the fact that they really look at Sky Valley, and they don't spend any of their money, spend a lot of their time, and the commitment there is something else. And I have to say, in all the discussions, I've been a chair for 3 years. Every one of our expenditures we come up with have all been unanimous. There's never been an issue. We don't go ahead. There's something, there's an issue, we have discussions, we work it out. So we don't spend money crazy. We go out, we're very, very careful. We've got teachers, we've got lawyers, and we look at these things very, very carefully. So going on to that time, everything has always been, I don't vote, I'm just the chair, but I go in and we go in and talk about how they bring these things unanimous decisions. So people are smart, they got marketing expenses, they understand budgets, they understand expenses and so forth. So now we get back down. So let's get down to total. Then we get down to checking account balance. Well, what is that? That's an item where you can have a budget, but you don't necessarily have to spend it. Some agencies, you have to spend it or you lose it. That's not the case. We carry it over. So we propose things. Sometimes timing, whatever it is, it's just not appropriate. So when we do something, so it can be a carryover. We don't have to spend it. We don't think it's a good idea. We don't spend it. So that's how the carryovers are done in terms of the checking account. We have a separate checking account. So let's go into expenses. For going there, we've got expenses again. All these expenses are approved unanimously by the committee. We've got TRACCOM. We can just go down if you have any expense in terms of all the way down, Mountain Lake Publishing, down to the bottom, T-shirt. So we have total advertising expenses of $7,020, and we compare that to other years. Let's drop down to general supplies, hay bale, $1,000, Skyville promotions, T-shirts. So far, here's going down meals, cleaning costs. That's getting it to have media people visiting us. So we get down to the total promotion, 6,000. So the total expenses prior to miscellaneous is 20,142, hard numbers. Then I heard a comment that then we're getting on miscellaneous expenses. Last year we had a budget item for it and we didn't spend it all. So what that amount is why do you have that? I heard this. Certainly we got miscellaneous. Something's going on here. Well, miscellaneous just allows us flexibility. There are things that come up. Actually, there's several projects we want, but we just didn't have the time this year. We are sort of 3 or 4 months behind time. The issues going on. So there's several items there we're talking about. We just couldn't put that hard numbers on it. These were in terms of one of the items we're talking about is real estate, trying to get the real estate people together and have some kind of event highlighting Sky Valley in terms of bringing them all together in the north part of Georgia. So that's one of the items that's there. Now, that's in it, but I can't give you a hard number. I'll just tell you, if it doesn't happen, it won't be spent. There's not going to be an issue. We got that number there. That doesn't necessarily going to be spent. that are very, very careful on it. It's something, but it gives us flexibility to go ahead. We don't spend it, it's okay. So in terms of total expenses, we're at 25,000. So the issue is, you know, why do we need a miscellaneous budget? It's because of flexibility. Are we gonna spend it? I'm not sure, but I want the ability, and our people looking at it, do we want to spend it or not? Gives us flexibility. That's my presentation. Any comments on it?
Well, I have a comment. I think you guys have done an excellent job. I hear comments all over the place about how wonderful Sky Valley is and how did you find out? Well, I read about it in a magazine, you know, saw it in Arlington. So I think that's a direct result of the work you guys have done, and I appreciate that.
I'd like to comment.
Councillor Carrie Sue.
Yeah.
Beasley.
I'm sorry.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for your presentation, Gordon. I think the marketing committee, as evidenced by the vote that we took, that we all have great faith in it. My concerns are two. One of my concerns is a $5,000 miscellaneous budget, as Councilor Price has pointed out, is more than 20% of the budget. And as echoing Ms. Herschel's comments, I don't find that acceptable either. I don't want that anywhere. We need to plan for where you think that is. And I appreciate that you want flexibility, but flexibility needs to be planned, especially because we're already a quarter into the year. My second concern, and this is what I stated to you privately on the phone, as well as Councilor Curtis, and I also said this at the last meeting, I need goals. I need directives. I need guidance. I need measurable things that show what the marketing committee is doing. And now with the pivot from the golf to the real estate, which I don't think is a bad thing at all, I want to see documentation. So I want to see what guides your decision. So when you do have a miscellaneous expense that comes up, do you refer it to your mission statement? Do you refer it to your goals? Do you refer it to your objectives, to measurables that say this meets what we want to use it for, therefore? So I think that for a $20,000 budget, a $25,000 budget, it's very important that we have way more documentation to support what exactly the committee does specifically and tangibly. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments on it. I can just say, Sky Valley Marketing Committee was formed in 2020. And the reason I went back there was that our area was over 70 homes for sale. And so in this case, the mayor, they were concerned. We got to do something. The Sky Valley Marketing, the home market is in dire shape. So that's why the Sky Valley Marketing Committee was formed. The basic purpose was to let the outside world know a little about Sky Valley. There were people in Clayton that didn't know about Sky Valley. So essentially what they were doing is going ahead and letting the people know, bringing them up here, you know, let them showcase us, let them come here and play, let them visit, let them maybe stay overnight. And then hopefully over a period of time, they said that they liked it, they could buy a second home or a first home. That was the overall. Now, how you could manage that, how you could say is, okay, goals. I've asked that when I had my own business. We all have, you know, budgets. We all have goals we have to have, but it's incredibly difficult in terms of marketing. I want feedback. I want, when I give a flyer up, I like to see what the return is. How many are responding? It's very difficult to get, almost impossible to find out a measurable amount. So I'm saying maybe what our original goal is, we just look at beginning and end of the year, how many homes are sold? Because that's really our purpose of the whole marketing committee, was to let people know about Sky Valley in terms of the overall value of homes, how many homes are sold. So that might be a goal, beginning and end, how many are sold. Another goal might be, we want people to stay overnight here in terms of rental property. Maybe some kind of a measurement based on the hotel sales tax, how that goes up or down. Maybe we can show that, how rentals come up. Maybe rentals, we're getting more income, but that would be something we could measure. You could measure us. Are we doing okay in terms of, I don't think business, I had a business owner for a long time. You can talk about, I don't care as much about activity. I want to see results. So results is really what you're looking for. So I'm okay with trying to compare with home sales beginning end of the year, maybe that. And of course, we got all the activities to see now how we're trying to get there. I wanted to see end result. Activity's okay, but it's end results we're looking for.
Gordon, I have a question for you. When I look at this, I see your goals as being under expenses, those titles of a goal of communications, a goal of advertisement, a goal of materials that will be needed, a goal of promoting, that, like you just said, Sky Valley. And then I see the actionables under those. The actionable under the goal of communications is golf life, other photography. The goal of advertising, you've got real specifics listed there, from Travcom visitor map down to the t-shirts and the Pause for Life calendar, et cetera, the traveler guide. And then I see the goal of materials, the hay bales are under there, the supplies and materials that are needed for what you accomplish. And so I see actionables and I see goals even listed out in this budget, so I appreciate the detail in the budget. I also see a goal of promotions and how you're doing that. And the actionables under that goal would be t-shirts, meals, gift apparel. So, is that fair to say? Do you think I'm on the right track with that?
I think you're on the right track there. I really do. I don't know what measurable, I know, yeah, in my business, I could sell widgets. If I sold more widgets one year, that's a good goal. I mean, that's a measurable thing. If you're in a restaurant to sell more this or that, but it's a little more difficult here. A lot of times, what you put in the real estate, it takes time. All I know is that you continue, and then you see it. My concern, if you don't do it, all of a sudden, our real estate market goes soft on us. Well, why did it go soft on us? Because we weren't promoted. I think you always have to be creating demand. You always have to be out there, introducing yourself. You leave up on it. In this budget, you say $20,000, just for one little publication, and say Southern Living, $30,000 for a little ad. It's incredible. We get so much value out of this for again, the city, 5,000, the city's putting in 5,000 for this. The rest is coming. We get enormous value. We get the travel, this guy coming in, Dave, he's done an amazing job. How much outward? Now, do we want that? Remember, we're trying to do local, regional, and national. And to get that on our budget, it's minuscule to what's going on. So we think we're doing a really good job trying to showcase Sky Valley. But it's, again, that what you're talking about is part of it. That is activities.
And you just said local, regionally, and beyond. I mean,
Yes,
those are
yeah,
goals as
we can
well.
do printed stuff. The printed stuff, you see, that's mainly locally. That's something you go and you live in town. And then we want to go out regionally and nationally, and that's where we got experts coming in. Doug comes in here and he has these, writers that come in and they show 70, 80,000 publications. No way in the world can we ever do that. I don't have the ability, but this guy does. He has ability for us to go out, and reach out to people. How much we get of that? Maybe got 1 or 2 sales a year. That'd be amazing. So the return would be amazing.
Thank you. We have comment from Councilman Jesse Price.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Councilmember Beasley on this. The budget looks good except for the miscellaneous, which is 5,000. It's the whole amount the city puts in. It's about 1/5 of the entire budget. So just in my mind and from experience in marketing and design for 20 years, I don't think that's the best use of the money without having clear objectives and having a bucket for it.
In case we don't spend it, I just want to have it there. Say something comes up. We have 2 things that I'm looking at is in terms of this real estate, bringing it together. And we didn't have time. If I had the time, we did it last November. Of course, I'm sort of behind a couple of months in terms of planning. This should have been done last year, but it's not. So it might not be spent. I just want to have the flexibility, or at least you improve the money. We might not spend it. I can assure you, if we don't, we won't be spending it. We've got a commissioner, the city, and we have other people who are very wise on that. They're not going to spend the money if it's not there. If it's not there, we'll carry it over. You can trust my word on it. We won't be spending money foolishly if it's not there.
Thank you. Would you?
Who are the city's representatives on that committee? Jim?
Yeah. We don't have another representative.
Jason's meetings.
Jason serves on the committee?
No.
Yeah, he was at the meeting.
We attend,
All right.
Holly used to get on, attend a lot of our meetings, and she gave us a lot of input. So we got a lot of input. She didn't vote, but she gave us, no, we don't want this or we want that. So it was the idea behind it.
You know, I would
Yep.
suggest that, you know, maybe calling it miscellaneous is, you know, not the best way to present it. Now, I look at this as a $25,000 budget, but that's only because this includes the $10,000 in carryover. And so, you know, when we do a city budget, you know, the revenues equal the expenses.
Yeah.
Well, the fact is, every year we carry money over because one of the big golf conventions.
We call it reserve, just, I want the flexibility to be able to do it. That's what I'm looking for. I might not spend it, but I, believe me, call it whatever you want, just we have it. In the past, you've done it. You give us that amount of money, and then you might not spend it, but I want the flexibility that comes up. I can go back to you or later, hey, it is, I'll report to you. We have the city and we have, you know, different people there. So trust me, we're not gonna spend it foolishly, but I need a little flexibility because there's a couple projects there that could go on.
Okay.
And it wouldn't be over 5,000, believe me. We've never ever exceeded, one thing I want to say, we've never ever exceeded our budget. We've always been under budget. Dave's going to say that. We're very careful how we spend our money, but it's how we spend the city's money.
But if we have a budget of the full $25,000 approved, then there's never any reason to go back to council.
That's exactly
and ask
right.
for anything else.
Okay.
And, you know, frankly, part of the reason for the carryover is that there's a major golf convention in January that sometimes presents opportunities later on in the year. And let's see. I see the point sort of slip in my mind.
Opportunities come up, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll share it when it comes back.
All right,
Have you been
thank
calling
you.
that at all?
Is there any further discussion? Thank
That's
you, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the budget for
I think
the?
it's on the book. Yeah. I made that.
I'm sorry, you did. I
that originally.
apologize. It just kind of went on a little
There was
while.
a suggestion just made to change it to miscellaneous to reserve fund. I'm happy with that. Reserve fund in lieu of miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
that
I think of it
something
as a
we can do
balance
at this
item.
time, or do you?
It's a committee, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
They can make that
Yeah,
recommendation.
they can do that.
Well, I'm just saying it's not on the budget at the moment as miscellaneous, which is why I'm asking, is this something that we can do at this time, or do we have to have?
The resolution was vote on it as it presented.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I think so too.
Yes.
And I do have one other thing I want to share. I have been responsible for a business budget for the last 10 years. And it is very typical for me to see in my chart of accounts, probably at this time, 15 to 20 miscellaneous accounts under each one of those chart of accounts categories. So miscellaneous is an accounting term that is used regularly versus changing it to reserve fund.
Okay.
That's what it is, you know, if you want to call it that. But it's very typical in accounting lingo to say you have a miscellaneous fund for almost every account, quite honestly. So it's not exorbitant. It is a portion of the budget, but we see that carryover too. So that equals responsibility for me when you have that carryover.
And of course, as a member of the council, I've seen many years where we, you know, for one reason or another, where the council has not been able to complete a budget by the end of the year. And therefore, we typically have carryover for that reason, that opportunities can come up in January.
All right, moving
Madam
on.
Chair, Madam Chair, taking any public comments now?
Michelle, you did already have an opportunity to have a comment earlier.
Well, I didn't know when you're supposed to have public comments, in the public comments section or when the item comes up, so it's up to you. You're the chair.
All right, we will entertain your public comment, your comment at this time.
So, I mean, Councilwoman Pence, I agree with you. There should be maybe a miscellaneous expense, but you still have to account for it. You have to show what it's being used for, and I don't see any of that there. In addition, we have a $10,000 carryover, and it just, in my mind, that just brings up the question: why do we need miscellaneous expense of $5,000 when we have a carryover of $10,000? And I feel that, we're talking $15,000 now that I feel could be used for bonuses for employees, or something really that can help out the city employees. And I don't, I don't see, Mr. Gordon, with respect, I don't see the results of this marketing committee. Nobody has shown us that. And I think it should be, the number one duty of this committee for next year's budget to show us how all these expenses have brought, the city some kind of benefit. And, I'm not saying we have to do it right now, but I give them a year, to show us the cost benefit analysis. And I really strongly believe we need to have that. Thank you.
Thank you. And since I have allowed you a comment, I'm going to.
Sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Does anybody in the room have a comment? Come up to the microphone and identify yourself, please.
My name is Chris Pence, and I'm the treasurer of the country club. And the reason we didn't put our $5,000 in this year is because we felt that there wasn't going to be a marketing committee. The time we put our budgets together, we were told the marketing committee was going to be disbanded. So we made other uses of those funds. So we've participated with Gordon in this marketing committee for the last 5-6 years, put in our $5,000. That's no indictment on that. We don't think there's any benefit to this marketing committee. It's just that we, at the time we had put our budgets in, we made other decisions because we didn't know the, ongoing. One thing that's a little bit concerning, and I agree with Michelle a bit, is that you're getting $15,000 in, but you're asking to spend over 20. You should probably spend your $15,000 that you're going to get in, and then if something comes up, go to the board or go to the council and say, hey, we've got $10,000 in reserve. We'd like to spend $4,000 for this, whatever. Okay, I don't like a situation where we're spending more than we're bringing in, and you have 15,000. Now, granted, it's only 5,000 of the city. You had other entities that are invested in this, and they want to see this marketing go. So you have an obligation, council, to the timeshares and the POA, because they're putting their money into this committee. So you've already approved your $5,000. That was in last year's budget. It's been approved. The 5,000 is going in. POA said 5,000. Timeshare said 5,000, so I think you should hold the committee to the 15,000. And the reason, again, that Sky Valley Country Club didn't do it because we didn't know going forward what was going to happen with your city with this marketing committee. So my recommendation to the council is you approve his budget at 15,000, knowing they have reserves of whatever they have left. And if he needs to use it, they need to use it. Come to the council and say, this is what we want to spend the overage on that we have in the bank. That's all I got to say. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other comments? Any other discussion?
Yes, I would say that, sometimes as advertising opportunities come in, we don't have time to come back to the council. And that's why I think that the $25,000 budget seems more realistic than a $15,000 budget. Now, we've got the cushion so that we could do a 20,000 budget and keep going sort of on the track that we've been on. I think we've been getting some real traction by bringing in travel writers, wining them, dining them, showing them the waterfall. I mean, to me, one of our goals is to get people to come in to Sky Valley for the very first time, because once they get here, the place sells itself. I mean, the people help sell it. There's a certain percentage of those people, and it might be small. You know, we used to have maybe 1 million people come in a year for the ski slope, and a certain percentage of those are homeowners here today. So I would reply to Michelle that, you know, we're not talking about $15,000 here. The $5,000 that's in miscellaneous is part of the $10,000 that was carried over so that we could use it. So I think the committee needs the kind of flexibility to take advantage of opportunities when they come up. And if we can be nimble, I think we're going to have a better result than if we don't. In terms of results, this is, you know, I'm a social scientist. I'm interested in this. It's a tough thing to do, but I think we've got some indicators. For example, if you're advertising on the internet, you get feedback in terms of clicks. The more clicks you get, the better it is. Well, we don't have clicks, but all of our advertisers have a circulation, and every time we advertise, every time we get an article in like the Michigan to Indiana Gulf, whatever it is, we know that goes to like 70,000 people. The folks in Alabama, I think they have 30,000 circulation. So, you know, what's the connection between clicks and sales? Marketing is different from advertising, but we've got how many articles get in somebody's mailbox. I think that's one way to do it. Now, does that prove that some of those people bought houses? Maybe they're not going to buy a house until they're ready to retire. You know, there's a causality thing that's really tough to get to. And, you know, if our property values go up, it may be for reasons other than the marketing. But it could show up in there, you know. And so ultimately I conclude that Sky Valley is a special trust. We ought to hand it down to the next generation of owners in as good a shape or better than we received it. It's that special a place, and that ultimately I would go with an argument on faith that at some point in the economic cycle, the fact that we've been marketing is gonna pay off. And right now, when our property values are finally back up, comparable with everybody else on the Highlands Plateau, as opposed to being, you know, half of that as before COVID, this is a time we ought to keep going and banging on it, getting people to buy houses in Sky Valley that can afford to maintain them on into the future. So that's how I would see the case for results looking off into next year.
Thank you.
And I think it's a good and reasonable question, and it's something that we we bat back and forth regularly.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Counselor. I believe that we have completed the discussion on this point. Is there any further discussion? No? Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
Opposed?
Opposed.
And the motion passes 3-2. Is there any further new business?
Madam Mayor, I would like to make a motion and a comment if I may.
The floor is yours.
Thank you. We have heard from all of our residents a number of different times. We've had open forums here for people to come and comment about the future of the city's wastewater treatment facility. We have, I think, heard from everybody, and we know pretty much how everybody stands. I would like to, at this time, make a motion that we proceed with a vote to continue to implement the previous council's plan to build and operate a wastewater treatment facility here in the valley. My comment is, I think that as my good cousin, Barack Obama, once said, elections have,
Consequences. Yeah.
Elections have consequences. And you guys ran pretty openly about the fact that you wanted to put the brakes on this thing and slow it. And I think that probably nobody has changed their mind on this at this point. So I would propose that we go ahead and vote on it. Let's put it to bed. Let's figure out another plan, and perhaps we can move forward with a new investigation into alternatives. What might be possible for us here? We could look at a lesser expensive survey into what the needs are. I really doubt that we will get much information that will change anybody's mind in that process. And I further doubt how we can assess needs in the future. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We can predict what's going to happen based on our own knowledge and experience and those kind of things, but we don't know. So the data is not going to be available. Opinions are plenty. So, but I don't think that anybody has changed their mind. I think that it's clear that it's not a wise move at this point to move forward. The voters have spoken. They have given you guys the majority here. We should recognize that. We should accept that, and we should move on with it.
I second.
Do you have a motion for the?
I would move that we proceed with the previous council's efforts to build and operate a wastewater treatment plant here. I would vote yes for that. Typically, you would vote no. So that would be the way I would propose that motion. By the way, I want to tell you that at this point, I have pretty much changed my vote from yes to a no for a completely different reason. I still think that it would be a wise thing for us down the road in the future, building, looking, all that sort of thing. But I don't think that this council, with a split council like we are, I don't think it's wise to embark on a major project like this, one of the biggest projects the city will ever have undertaken with a split council. I don't think it would be productive. So I think that we need to slow down, take a look at things, see where we go from here.
Well,
Could you phrase that motion in the form of a motion? I'm sorry.
I move that we vote now on proceeding with the previous council's efforts to build and operate a wastewater treatment facility in Sky Valley.
I second.
We have a motion to proceed, and we have a second, and now we have discussion. Does anybody wish to discuss the motion to proceed with the sewer plant as proposed by the prior council?
I'm a little confused. I thought we were on a trajectory to do a needs assessment, and that for example, I heard the mayor say on 2 public occasions during the campaign. I'm neither for or against sewer. I just think we need more information, that is a needs assessment. And I think several of the candidates made similar statements. I think a needs assessment would give the folks that are not convinced that we need a sewer system a chance to get some of those unanswered questions nailed down, at least to some degree. As new questions come up, we should be adding that to our list of questions for the needs assessment. For example, one of my colleagues was quoted in the newspaper as suggesting that the sewer system could bankrupt Sky Valley, and I think that's a question that could be put into the needs assessment and see what people with more experience than we think that possibility is.
I'd like to comment.
Thank you, Councilor Beasley.
I'm sorry, Jim, were you done?
Oh, go
Jim,
ahead.
okay. I didn't mean to interrupt if there was a delay. I apologize. This is not anything new for anybody, but just the point of this discussion. Thank you, Council Allred. I would like this discussion. I've asked for this comment and this vote to be on an agenda because I think this has been long in coming where everybody wants to know where the council stands on this. So thank you for making the resolution and put this on the agenda. I believe that we are not in a financial position to do the sewer as it was presented. The details for the sewer as it was presented did not define the affordability of it. The rule of thumb is 500 hookups to it is really the break-even point, and there was only 236 ever proposed. And then it was optional if you want to sign on to it or tap into it. And then it was, you don't have to pay the abandonment fees, and we're not sure what the operating costs are and stuff like that. So there was too many variables that financially would be devastating to the city if those were never answered. It is my understanding that the needs assessment would not be covered at this point financially. My understanding is they cost between 10 and 20,000. It is not in the budget. The current grants would not pay for those. And in fact, it would jeopardize the grants to do them at this point because the new information would counter what they were applied for in the grants. I don't believe a needs assessment at this time. I would love to go back and pursue other options like going back over the mountain and tapping into Dillard and some other things. I do not believe right now that financially we are in a position to do this right now. So I support the resolution to bring it to a vote, and I will vote no, that we do not proceed. And I am not in favor of a needs assessment.
Thank you, Councillor Beasley. Any further comments? If we could allow the other councillors to have a
Sure, of course.
And do you have any? Well, then come on, Councillor Curtis, it's your turn.
Okay. The ancient proposal to put the sewage line over the mountain and down to the valley and hook it into Dillard's system was overcome by events, and the events were increases in the cost of pipe. Basically, that was a piping project, a gathering and piping project, and the fact that they had to put it, so much pipe in it, increases in pipe expenses made that infeasible. And I doubt that that's changed. The last cost estimate from 2025 was that we could do it for $5 million. Now, I sort of questioned that, and it was when we were adding on hookup fees will be free. we'll take out the old septic system. And I was wondering how in the heck that could be. And I since learned that we reduce the capacity of the sewage system so that we're spending less money on the package plant, and that money could then be spent on making it easier for people to hook on to the system. So if that's a concern, and I think it is a legitimate concern, the needs study needs to take another look at, what this system that's proposed is actually going to cost. Cost estimates are not guesses. It's based on what does it take to move a yard of dirt? What is the cost of piping, of labor, and so on. Well.
Jim,
So anyway,
we don't have the votes, buddy. We need to face that fact and come up with a plan to move forward. And to move forward, let's do a study, let's do something modified for what we were thinking about.
I'd like to hear then from my fellow council people. My take is that we've got people who are open-minded, who are capable of making decisions based on facts, and want the facts in order to justify whatever decision they ultimately make. If they feel that they know enough now, then, we've been on the wrong path of trying to do a needs assessment. On the other hand, if we're just dead set against sewer because we believe what we said during a political campaign, we're a long way from getting a chapter in Profiles in Courage.
I'm not sure what that comment means.
Yes, I was trying to figure that out.
I wanted to be convinced. I asked the community to come forward and share with us the convincing information that 200 people, 200 units, 400 units, 500 units needed this septic system changed to a sewer plant. When I went for training, I heard that cities of 500 people who were putting in sewers were overrun twice or even 3 times as much, millions of dollars, 10 years in, just disasters. Sewers, we heard from experts here that sewer plants were not working well, and they're not on a pile of granite like we are. They're down low where there's lots of dirt and 90 feet of dirt. And that's not our luxury here. We do not have enough information. A needs assessment is not going to convince me at this point. I asked to be convinced and I was not convinced. So Councilor Beasley, I agree with you. I will vote nay on this sewer project.
Well, do you?
Yeah, if you want to hear my comments, I think insulting each other is the wrong way to go about any of this stuff.
Thank you, Jesse.
I'm not going to be convinced just like that. We went to training, we heard of towns that had real big disasters, almost the same size as us, huge overages in cost, and not just overage on the cost of the construction, but an overage on how much it costs per year to put these things in and maintain them. We heard from an expert at one of the work sessions who talked about how hard it is to get parts. He talked about all these different factors. And much to Councilmember Beasley's point, I don't believe we're in a financial position to take all that on. What I do believe we need to focus on is the water right now, because that's something that's right in front of us. It's a huge deal. And that's where I stand. I'm going to vote no.
I believe we've heard from everybody, and we have a motion on the table to proceed with the wastewater system that the previous administration proposed. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Nay.
Opposed? Nay.
And the nays have it. Thank you. Is there any further business? New business? We do not have a requirement to go into an executive session. So I will now entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I will move to adjourn our meeting.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I thought there'd be the comments at the end, there can't be.
They're at the beginning.
Oh, okay, I just would like to you guys to give the people in the condos that stuff I forwarded the city last year, because they could all get their own system, that's all.
Thank you. All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.